Michael Phelps is known worldwide for his exploits at the Olympics, where he virtually owns the swimming pools. But the man with 22 Olympic medals against his name has confessed that his first love has always been golf.
The name of Michael Phelps is synonymous with Olympic medals, more Olympic medals, and then some more Olympic medals. The United States of America has been a traditional powerhouse at the Olympics, and Michael Phelps' medals have made a substantial contribution to their tally.
We were here to see 18 and 19, and we got it. All I can say is it'll be a cold day in Hades before somebody other than Phelps owns that record.
Yeah, USA! Woo! We did it, baby!
Born in the USA, I was born in the USA now.
But it might surprise you to know that swimming was not always Michael Phelps' first love. I used to always want to golf when I was a kid, and actually at one point in high school, I wanted to quit swimming and be on the golf team. But now here we are and I'm tackling this sport. Well, the stats suggest that Michael Phelps made the right call. But now it's a matter of heart taking precedence overhead for him. In his post-Olympics life, he's trying to master what was his first love. Michael Phelps was quite used to things going his way in the pool, and the greens have proven to be a different experience for him. It's one of the most humbling games I've tried to do in my entire life. I could always pick up things fairly easily, but I don't get how hitting a little object, a little white ball that isn't moving so hard. Why can't I just hit this in a straight line? I'm finally learning how to be able to do all that stuff and do it consistently. But I still do have some pretty bad shots. That was some pretty honest admission by the Olympic legend. But as they say, practice makes a man perfect, and with the kind of devotion Michael Phelps has displayed towards the sport of Tiger Woods, don't bet against him making the cut.
I know my mom wants to. I've already told her I will not be competing, so do not get her hopes up. Not in the pool. If I somehow become an amazing golfer, maybe.
But for that to happen, Phelps will have to leap over the likes of Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods and Bubba Watson, considering the fact that each country can send only 2 representatives.
Well, we shall wait till he gets there with golf as well. All the best, Michael. Turning our focus to a different continent now, in New Zealand to be precise. Rugby is a sport which enjoys a cult following in the small island nation. And in this case, the gain for the All Blacks was at the expense of the nation's cricket team.
Thump from behind and a big tackle, but the All Blacks with a real opportunity here. Carter takes it to the line. Now here's Kahui. Kahui to Nonu, and Israel Dag will score the opening try of the cup.
During the 2011 Rugby World Cup hosted by New Zealand, the All Blacks fullback Israel Dag scored the first try of the tournament in the opening game against Tonga. But very few of us know that instead of being the enforcer for the mighty All Blacks, Dag could have been the new ball bowler for the Black Caps. As a 16-year-old, Israel Dag won national fast bowling competition as he was consistently clocked at around 145 kilometers per hour. And then he had the chance to interact with Brett Lee. After the meeting, he was convinced that he could make it as a cricketer. It was a great experience. I spoke to Brett Lee and had a great chat with him. He said I could make it a long way in the game if I stuck at it. I decided I was going towards cricket, recalls Dag. Then, in a decision that will haunt New Zealand cricket but bring sighs of relief from opening batsmen, rugby came calling. His provincial rugby team Hawke's Bay offered him a contract, and from that stage on, there was no looking back. And the decision was an easy one. The game of rugby in New Zealand enjoys a status similar to what cricket enjoys in India.
It's a bit like India. Again, I made that comparison. How cricket is to India, how rugby is to New Zealand. It's a bit like that for New Zealanders. They're rugby obsessed.
So instead of bowling at the opposition batsman, Israel Dag chose to charge in towards their defense. And who can question his decision? Now, his cricket is restricted to the backyard games. That's unless a confident teammate like Jimmy Cowan comes up with a $100 bet. I've already bowled out Jimmy. He had a bet with me that I had an over to bowl him out, and I bowled him out second ball. That was probably the easiest $100 Israel Dag had earned. And in his serious pursuit, he is busy earning laurels for the All Blacks.
little while back, we went through the list of cricketers and football players who could have had an alternate career path. Here's a look at a few more similar cases.
Mastering one sporting discipline is a tough ask. Keeping that in mind, there is always an extra respect for those who manage to master two. Michael Phelps is contemplating it, but closer home, it has already been done. Kapil Dev is probably one of the greatest all-rounders India has ever had, if not the greatest. The man put Indian cricket on the world map when he won the first World Cup for the nation back in 1983. But post-retirement, Kapil Paji has discovered a new passion, and he is hooked. And the reason the game has caught his attention is because, unlike in other sport, here the player is practically competing against himself. Sir Vivian Richards is known for the way he used to destroy the bowling attacks in his playing days. He was one of the architects of the Caribbean dominance in the 70s and the 80s. There wasn't much of a surprise when he was voted as one of the 5 cricketers of the century in 2000. But then the versatile Viv was good enough to represent Antigua in the qualifiers for the 1978 FIFA World Cup. As we spoke about it earlier, New Zealand is a rugby-obsessed nation, and so it was no surprise that Jeff Wilson chose it over cricket. But he proved to be different, as becoming an all-black legend, he went on to play 6 ODIs as well for the New Zealand cricket team once his rugby career was over. Moving our attention to the fairer sex for a while, Claire Taylor is the first woman to have played on a World Cup team in both cricket and football. She was a member of the England's World Cup winning team in 1983. We are talking about cricket here, and then she went on to represent England in the FIFA Women's World Cup in 1995 in Sweden. A parallel example is seen in Australia at present, with Alice Perry too having the distinction of playing in both ICC as well as FIFA World Cups for Australia. Perry has accepted that she will have to make a choice between the two sports, but hasn't really decided just yet. But in 2010, when she had to decide whether to play for Australia at the ICC World 2020 or at the 2010 AFC Women's Asia Cup, which overlapped, she chose cricket. Coming back to men's cricket, Adam Hollier promised quite a lot but had an unfulfilled career for England, although he was quite successful with Surrey. But after his cricket career, he seems to have carved a niche for himself in mixed martial arts, where he is doing quite well. Another English cricketer, although slightly more famous, Andrew Flintoff, had a legion of fans due to his larger-than-life figure and his memorable performances, especially against the Australians.
A beauty.
But again, quite a few eyebrows were raised when the 6 feet 5 inches tall Freddie stepped into the boxing ring. Although he was victorious against the American journeyman Richard Dawson, the critics are yet to be won over. Now a fan's fantasy will be a matchup between Andrew Flintoff and Sonny Bill Williams. For a change, Freddie won't be towering over his opponent. The All-Black World Cup winner is known for his skills as well as his powerful runs while wearing the black jersey. On the field, he has left quite a few opponents spellbound in more ways than one. But apart from rugby, he's quite passionate about boxing, and he's quite good at it, as is evident by the fact that he won the title of New Zealand's heavyweight boxing champion. There are others who can make it to the list, but let's leave that for some other time.
That was quite an interesting list we went through in the past half an hour. We will bring you some other fascinating things to talk about next time on a Sports Zone special. Till then, this is Isha Hanspal saying bye-bye. Keep watching Neo Prime. Ciao.